My name's Chad. I live in a 1991 Volkswagen Westfalia. I've been living in my van, let's see, since February 1st of 2011. So we're coming up on 3 years here in a couple weeks. I've owned a home. I've lived in the big fancy apartments downtown. The last home that I actually had was just a 2-bedroom home out in the county that I rented and wanted to make a change and started living in my van. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that the typical American might see about somebody living in their van is the fact that they might see it as being homeless. But the fact is, I mean, I've got my home right here. You know, I don't stand on the street corner and beg for money. I don't wear dirty clothes. I live a normal lifestyle, except this is my home. My home's on wheels. I've got a job that I go out and work and, you know, pay my bills. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, is the fact that people think I might be homeless. On the contrary, I get so many people that really seem to envy this type of lifestyle, the living simple. I get a lot of people saying like, man, you know, I've been living this, you know, typical American lifestyle. I really wish I could simplify my life and go out and live like you do in a van. And I get probably more people wanting to go out and live that van lifestyle or live the simple lifestyle than I do actually people complaining about like, oh, you're just homeless. So, you know, it's actually pretty positive and pretty rewarding what you can get out of it. The way that the van works for me is it enables me to live a simpler lifestyle, not have so many bills, and be able to take off on those road trips that I need to be able to grab the photography and do the filmmaking and stuff like that. So it enables me to do what I do for a living. I've been up one side and down the other of the American dream. You know, I was married when I was 21 and bought a house, had a kid. I've got 2 kids now, but I've had the house, I've had the car payments, I've had all that stuff. I worked the same career for the last 18 years of my life. And that was in the construction equipment rental business. And I'm a creative person. I knew I wanted to be doing something different, but I was always working to pay for the house and the kids and the wife and the toys and trying to make myself happy in that aspect. And once I finally was able to wake up and realize that the typical American lifestyle is not the way I want to live, then I went the other direction, and I've been happier living in my Volkswagen van than I ever have with the big house or the big apartment downtown or all the toys or the big truck and all the payments. Like, I spent a lot of money trying to make myself happy, but actually now that I don't have very much money and I live in a van, I'm the most happiest. You know, my family's always there 100%. They know how important it is to me to be chasing the dream of becoming a photographer and a filmmaker. So they understand that I need to do whatever it takes to reach that dream and reach that goal. So my family support 100%. My friends, they think it's cool because when we're out hanging out at their house late at night or we're out partying, like, we can crash in the van and, you know, hang out. So, you know, my home's everywhere. What inspired me to start living in my van is I was looking on YouTube to see what other people were doing for this type of lifestyle, and saw several channels of people that were regularly posting about living in an RV or living in a van, and it proved to me that it was possible. I was like, man, these people are doing it, I can do it. So I learned a lot from those people. I got a lot of inspiration from those people. Once I realized how much I'd learned, I wanted to put up a video on YouTube that explained some of what I learned about living in my van and kind of give back to that community that taught me so much about it. And the YouTube channels actually helped pay for my van because I get a monthly income from it, and that continues to climb and climb. So I've got a laptop, I've got the iPhone with the personal hotspot, so I can actually hook up to the internet with my laptop. I can surf the web, Facebook, Netflix. The other thing that I've done to entertain myself is when my bed's laid out here, I actually mounted a phone holder to my ceiling so I can be laying in bed and watch Netflix on my phone. So that's a great way to pass time when I crawl into bed and, you know, before I fall asleep. My Westfalia, the way that I make power, generate power, or store power is I have 2 battery systems. I have the main battery system that is used only for starting the motor. That way, that one's always reserved. When the key is turned off, everything switches over to the auxiliary 12-volt power that's under the driver's seat, And then at that point, all the 12-volt services throughout the van, the stereo, the lights, everything else, all the charging systems for my phones and my laptop are all run off the auxiliary battery. I also have a inverter hooked up to that auxiliary battery that I can do for simple stuff like charging camera batteries, which use AC power and stuff like that. I can run my laptop. So that's how I do that. Mostly I'm based out of the Pacific Northwest in my hometown. So I have a P.O. box that I have there. If I'm out on the road for months at a time, I'll have a friend or family member go and check my mail and sort it out. If there's anything that's important, then I'll have them ship it to me wherever I'm at that particular time. The most important security to me is actually blending in with your surroundings, whether it be an urban area or you're out in the desert, not making a big scene. If I'm in an urban area, I'll find a neighborhood that is upscale, clean, quiet, that has lots of cars parked in a row, and I'll just blend in with those. Luckily in my Volkswagen van, I can blend in like anybody else would be parked on the side of the road. You know, when it comes down to repairing a vehicle, a lot of people stop and think, okay, well, I paid $1,000 for this vehicle. It's going to cost me $900 to fix it if something goes wrong. So people might look down on that. But the thing is in my situation, I'm investing in my home. A lot of people will go out and they will, you know, put lots of money into rent to have an apartment that, you know, has a beautiful view or whatever. And I feel like they're throwing their money away with no return investment. I can drive my home out to the cliffs overlooking the beach and have that multi-million-dollar view, and I don't have the house payment, I don't have the rent payment. My money goes into maintaining my vehicle. That pays off to me. One thing that I do a lot is I buy a lot of food that doesn't actually require cooking. You know, cereal. I've got a refrigerator here so I can keep milk cold. Cereal. I'll pull out the stove every once in a while and I will hard boil some eggs, which I'll keep in the refrigerator. If I really get a hankering, I'll pull out the stove top here and do some cooking on the propane stove that is equipped into the Volkswagen Westfalia. That's got a 2-burner stove and that works really well. One of the reasons that I bought the Volkswagen Westfalia is because it's super compact, but it also comes equipped with almost everything you would need to be able to camp inside the van. It's got the 2-burner stove. It also has the refrigerator that runs off of propane, 12 volt or also 120 volt. And it's fairly decent size. It'll, you know, it's amazing the amount of groceries that you can actually shove in there. So between the refrigerator and all the cabinets, you can store an awesome amount of food to really survive on. On the seat that I'm sitting on right now is a ton of storage. So I've basically got a whole dresser underneath my seat here where I keep all my clothes. As I go through clothes and they get dirty, I've got a spot over here where I put my dirty clothes. And then once a week, I'll go and hit a laundromat, and for a few bucks, I can do a week's worth of laundry and be done with it.